Hello everybody, today is quite a rare day in Scotland. The sun is actually shining for a change. It's going to be about 22 degrees. So, shorts are on, we're taking a trip to the Seaside, and the town that we're going to, St Andrews, has a lovely bookshop called Poppings and Company. It's a really nice sort of smaller independent bookstore. So I thought, why not? I've not bought physical books in a while. Why not go there, buy some books, I've got some money burning a hole in my pocket, and sort of take you guys along with me, and then we'll do a little book haul at the end. I don't really go book shopping that much anymore because books are expensive and I don't have a lot of space. I live in a small flat, don't have a lot of space for actual physical books. So where possible I tend to read on my Kindle, or I will also go to my library. So this is a recent book from my library that I actually need to return today as well. So yeah, don't go out book shopping all that much, but because the sun is shining, I'm in a good mood. We're already going to the Seaside. I thought, why not pick up a few books. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm looking for. I will probably end up buying a Stephen King just because I know myself and I always seem to buy Stephen King books. But other than that, I'm open to a variety of things. So let's get going. So, just got back from St Andrews, been away for a few hours now. It was a really nice day, the sun was out, sun was shining. It's about an hour and a bit drive over there, so just listening to some music, enjoying the scenery. Then when we got there, walked along to the beach, stopped for ice cream and sort of cookies, and then had some lunch. We stopped at a place called Blackhorn, had some burgers. It was very, very nice. And then we went to Toppings, and I have got a fair few books to show you guys. If you've never heard of Toppings before, which I'm sure you probably wouldn't have, it's like this small, it's an independent chain, which might not make much sense, but essentially it's like a small group of stores, independently owned. They're really nice. The selection of books they have is really good. They have a lot of cool events and special things going on. They've got like loads of signed editions, special editions. It's a really cool place to be. So I did go hoping to get a couple of books. Unfortunately, I didn't get the exact books that I was maybe hoping to get, but I still got some good ones. There was a lot of things to look at, to choose from. There was sort of too much choice. I was looking at a few things, like they had a lot of Agatha Christie, which I really like. They've got a fair amount of Stephen King, they've got loads of detective fiction, thrillers, horrors and things like that. The one that I was wanting to get was the paperback edition of The Fourth Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I've got all the other books in paperback. I was waiting for this one to come out in paperback rather than hardback so it would match the other in the set. However, the version that they had wasn't the right one to match the set, so essentially they've got two options that you can get, one with like a white cover and like a coloured spine, and the other with a white spine and coloured front. They had the opposite ones that I've got all the rest of them in. Not a big deal, I'll just get somewhere else, and I do have some other cool ones that I picked up that I'll show you now. So the first one I got is a Stephen King written with Peter Straub. This is The Talisman. It's one of a two-part series of books. Don't know too much about sort of what this is about, only that I was really interested in reading the second one and I was going to buy that one, but then I thought it doesn't make sense to buy that one without buying the first one because they're a series and that's how it goes, you do them in order. So it sounds really good. It seems like it's about this boy that goes in like a weird world, through like a parallel world where there's like a lot of like violence and bad stuff going on. Sounds really good. I'm a massive Stephen King fan. I think this will be a good read, and like I said, I wanted it because I wanted to buy the sequel, which really looked like it's something that I'd enjoy. So got this so that I could get this one, Black House, again by Stephen King and Peter Straub. So this is the second part for that one, which I think takes place like a couple of decades after that book. So the protagonist from previous books now grown up, and he's using his past to go and find. So I think basically what happens is there are children that go missing and they end up in like this alternate world, and now in this book the boy from the first book is trying to solve it or find. I'm not entirely sure. I've not read it. I've not read too much up about them, as you can probably tell, but it should be good. I love Stephen King, and this looks really good. I was hoping to be able to get The Regulators by Stephen King because last week I finished Desperation by Stephen King, and The Regulators is kind of like a companion novel to it. They're not exactly related. It was quite cool what he did. So Stephen King used to write under the pseudonym Richard Bachman, and then so Desperation and Regulators were released on the same day. Desperation was released under Stephen King, The Regulators were released under Richard Bachman, and they're supposed to be sort of like alternate universes, so same character and story, but as if they were written by two different people. Fortunately, they didn't have that one in stock, so I got The Talisman and Black House instead. And the next one I got was The Talented Mr. Ripley by Patricia Highsmith. I've not read... No, that's a lie. I was about to say I've not read any of Patricia Highsmith, but that's a lie. I've not read any of her crime books, which doesn't make much sense because a lot of people say that she's like the queen of crime, whatever. She's written a lot of stuff like this one, obviously, and then Stranger on the Train is another really popular one. The only Patricia Highsmith book I've read is The Price of Salt, which is like a period romance type one. So I've not actually read any of her crime, and I wanted to change that, so I got this Talented Miss Ripley. It's a short one, should be good though. I think it's about, let's see, so I think it's about this guy who's just a typical run-of-the-mill bloke, but then he takes out a lot of debt and then he sort of spirals and panics and ends up killing people. I think that's the rough synopsis, but obviously I'll find out when I read it. And then the last one that I bought is the only one in hardback. It's also the only non-fiction book that I got. As you can probably tell from the background there, I'm a Formula 1 fan. I really like Formula 1 and my favourite driver is Max Verstappen. Recently, over the last couple of weeks, I read sort of a biography about him, which was all right, but it wasn't so much about his life. It was more sort of like a blow by blow of all of his races. It was still interesting, but I don't think it was as good as it could have been. So then when I saw this, Unstoppable, the Ultimate Biography of Max Verstappen by Mark Hughes, I thought this looked a lot more interesting. I flicked through it. It seems to go more into his actual life and childhood and him as a person rather than the other one. It went on sort of like tangents about history of like tracks that weren't really, it doesn't really have much to do with Max Verstappen other than he drove on those tracks at some point. So I am really looking forward to this. And it comes in a lot of the things that I don't like about hardbacks with like this, the dust jackets is they can get quite dirty and tatty, but this one came like with the dust jacket like wrapped in like an extra little protective film. So that's nice. I've not seen that before. So yeah, really excited about this one. Not sure when I'm going to get round to reading this one just because I did just recently read a different biography, so I'll probably let my Max knowledge settle a bit. But it's good to have it, and it'll be an extra addition to my non-fiction shelf. So those are the books that I got today. Not a mega haul. I know a lot of people on YouTube and whatever do a haul and it's like 50 books. I don't have the money for that. I'm sorry, I just simply don't. But this is, a good collection that I'm excited to read because later today I'm pretty sure I'm going to finish The Long Walk by Stephen King. So I've got some other ones to fill the gaps. Potentially this Patricia Highsmith one, I might give that one a go. But yeah, it was really hard to pick. There was loads of stuff there. I was really tempted by, it was like a collection of Hercule Poirot stories, like short stories. There's like 50 of them. But the thing that put me off a bit was, first of all, short stories can be a little bit hit or miss. Also, it was like £20 for a paperback, and that just feels like it's too much. £20 for a hardback, fine. Paperback, a bit much. And because the Poirot stuff is a lot, like, quite old, a lot of it's like available, like, free on the internet for like Project Gutenberg and stuff, so I don't know. I'll hold back there, but really excited about, again, these two and this series, Patricia Highsmith and my Max Verstappen biography. I did also, while I was there, put in an order for a pre-order of Stephen King's If You Like It Darker, which comes out later this month. I had already pre-ordered it on Amazon because it was like £12.50 on Amazon for a pre-order, and I was like, for a hardback, that's quite good. But Toppings had like an independent booksellers edition that had like a really cool like cover art on the actual like physical book, not just the dust jacket. So I cancelled the pre-order with Amazon, and even though the one at Toppings was more expensive, I was like, I really want that artwork. So that's what I did. So that's coming later this month. But overall, yeah, it was a really nice day. Good weather, nice to get out of the house, and books are always good. So stay tuned for a future video where I give my thoughts on these books. I'm not sure when I'm actually going to fit in the time to read these because I've got a lot of things that I want to read, as I'm sure you probably do too. My to be read TBR thing is about 1 million books long, but I'll get to them eventually and I'll tell you about them when I do. But thank you for coming along with me for my first ever book shopping vlog haul type thing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!